Babe, pick me up, you dirty Mexican. Remember, if you like these videos, like, sub, silly, comment, share, support the channel if you want to. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Answering a question that I get asked often, quite often. Clayton, what do you think is the top tier in this video game? And you know what, dude? I've said this many times before, dude. I don't fucking play this game. First of all, not only do I not play this game, a lot of people that play video games aren't even qualified to give their real opinion on a tier list, okay? And I'm not like one of these other fake content creators, one of these other fake, fraudulent people that even play the game, whatever the fuck you want to call it. I don't ever want to put something out there, like my stamp on something, if it's like not in a genuine way, right? Or if I don't actually know what the fuck I'm talking about, right? So I don't play this game competitively. The only thing I can say is I know what is possible in the game because, well, I'm just smarter than other people, right? Do you know what I mean? This is the same game where, fuck, look at it, look at something like homing dash rejumps. Such a simple thing nowadays, right? But if you recall, for the first year, I was posting about that during the beta, and people were like, people will never do this. I posted videos of it. They're like, oh, people still never do this. It took to like season 2, and now that's like a fundamental thing, right? So I can tell how the way the games are going to work, right? And even this game is not played optimally yet, right? But if we're also to even look at a game like, say, Guilty Gear, right? You know, the Guilty Gear Accent Core Plus R. Like, of course, I've played the game a little bit, but I'm naive to the game quite a bit, so I wouldn't put my stamp on what I think is the tier list in the game because I haven't played it enough. So, you know, when people, again, ask me about what do you think is the top tier? Oh, now people are saying Vegito is actually top tier, blah, blah, blah. What do you think? And it's always like, well, I don't play the game. I can't give you an accurate opinion on what I think is the top tier in the game. But I can tell you what I know is possible in a video game because I've been able to predict how games were going to work since I was a kid, accurately, over and over and over again. So, you know, and Vegito is a character, I guess, you know, people are saying that, you know, he's considered quite good now. And I've always said, I think, although Vegito isn't necessarily how I would have done him, I've said before, I think Vegito is a very interesting character in the meta. And just in the grand scheme of fighting games, you know, because you can see there's a potential archetype for this character that does not exist in other games. You know what I mean? This kind of thing, like, this is just as Banshee Blast, split finger shot, whatever you want to call it. This is not a move that could exist in other fighting games, besides like Dragon Ball FighterZ, because of the game it works, right? But when you look at a character like Vegito, and you know, in this patch, he got some buffs and he got some, like, buff slight nerfs. Like stand medium is pretty broken, and that's why I said, I was like, wow, this move is retarded. And you know, I liked how some of the haters were like, oh, Clayton's saying he thinks it's retarded because it's not good. I literally made the video and I'm like, I think this move is too good right now. You know what I mean? It's like, why you from this mid-range it's retarded. But there are little nerfs to it, right? You know what I mean? You can't do some of the spacing that you could do before. I think some of the Banshee Blast combos are actually harder now because of it. There are little nerfs to it, but there are good things too. And I said it was going to be, you know, double-edged sword. There's some good things about it, some bad things about it. So, you know, people are intellectual. They can't see a video game on the whole, you know, idea. But Vegito is a character that I think is interesting too, specifically in this game too, because he plays the game in a different way than other characters do, right? You know what I mean? When you look at like other characters in this game, you know, it could be almost tons of other characters. When you see the way that you mash pressure in this game, or stagger pressure, tap, whatever it is, you know what I mean? And now this move is a little bit better in this version, or whatever. A lot of times when characters actually like finish strings, whatever it is, you know, whatever they might be minus at, you know, -2, but you're always up in the opponent's junk, right? But something different about Vegito is whenever he does shit, right, he's always, and this is something I posted right when he came out, which is crazy. You know, so many people are like, oh, the most annoying thing about Vegito is his you know, stand L stagger pressure, his auto combo's bullshit, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, okay, but like, look at, you know, the bigger picture, and you actually see people actually doing more of this now, right? You know, like this sweet spot, this range here, And it took people to actually use this range more. It's like, wow, his medium from this range is really, you know, so good from this range. But I'm like, dude, you could still do stuff like this even in the first patch, right? And I'm like, this kind of range, when Vegito stagger, see, he's -2, right? From right there, right? Normally when a character is doing whatever kind of stagger pressure, and of course, you know, I have this here, whatever, that's -1, whatever, that's -2, but look where I'm at the character, dude. This is, you know, not a very, this is a pretty, you know, suspect range, right? This is like a range where this is quotation marks respected because it's a tag team game in a sense, right? For what it's worth, take anything that I'm saying with a grain of salt, you know what I mean? Kind of roll with me here in my idea. But that's why I said, like, Vegito, when he staggers, whenever he staggers, he's always at this sweet spot. I am always back, no matter what I'm doing, at these kind of sweet spots where -2 might be -3, and it's like, wow, I'm always back here. What is the opponent going to do? Am I afraid of the opponent mashing a jab from that range like I am with another character? If I bring Gogeta out here, you see Gogetas, they do some pretty crazy like pressure strength something. Oh, now I got a jab, and you know, whatever it might be, but that shit isn't real. You know what I mean? There's like a lot of respect there because like, oh, the opponent might have a tag or something like that, right? But a lot of this pressure, look where I'm at, right, with the guy, right? But Vegito, not only do you have this idle combo stuff, whatever, this stagger out pressure, it's like, just when I'm doing my normal pressure, I don't fear you doing anything. I'm going back to doing whatever I wanted. You know what I mean? I'm at this sweet spot. And if we're to look at the priority system of the game, you know what I mean? When I finish stuff like, hopefully you know the priority system of the game. Hopefully you do. Hopefully you know a little bit about this game, because I didn't fucking play it. Right? You know what I mean? Like, I end a sassy kick right here. Well, fuck, my medium, it goes farther than a lot of characters, right? When I end something, well, fuck, my medium wins. Versus a lot more characters than you'd think. Oh, I'm pressuring right there. Well, fuck, I still win, right? And, you know, there are different characters, you know what I mean, that their medium might go a bit further, right? So I could delay a little bit, right? If I go here, he might hit me. Let's see how far we can go here. We clash, right? Just to show. But then there's also another mind game where if I actually just do the hard, though, because of the priority system, I win. But the point is, and like I said, there's some characters that they can't even try to play that guessing game. Some characters that don't have a medium that goes that far, you know, they can't even try to play that ABC kind of game right there. They're just kind of like, wow. Vegito at this kind of range, you know what I mean? Like, man, oh man, I was -1 right there. Damn, look at that. Jeez, that's pretty good, dude. There's a big difference between being -1 and I'm right next to you, and -1 and I'm right back at this sweet spot. You know what I mean? Right back, and like I said, this game still is not even played optimally, right? You know what I mean? You see people doing more of this stuff because, you know, the medium, they made it more brain dead, but it's not like you couldn't use the medium before like this. You could still use the medium in senses like this to, you know, abuse the priority system, but there were different strings you could do it from, right? But like I showed, you just kind of flip it around, and now it's a bit more spazzy, you know what I mean? But the same idea that I showed works in this game from the very beginning still works, right? They just made it a little bit easier in certain instances, right? And they took away one string. One string doesn't work anymore, but like I said, it's kind of sad that I'll never get to see the game played like that. But the point is, Vegito is an interesting character because, again, when Vegito is staggering pressure, well, fuck, I'm right back here. Well, boom, oh, safe Banshee Blast. And that's another thing, too. Like I've talked about, too. I've seen some people are like, oh, you know, no one's ever done Clayton's bug. No one's ever going to do that. The crazy thing is, and I see people post that in my comments, it shows you're a fucking idiot, to be honest with you. Why the fuck would you go for the bug? You are not going for the bug of the reflecting bug that I show. The only bug that you're going for is that bug, right? You're going for the stagger pressure with the fireball bug, but you're not going for the reflecting bug that makes you plus, okay? The reflecting bug that makes you plus is a side effect of what you're doing. Okay? It's just a deterrent to make the guy, even if they wanted to reflect, well, they got to be more, you know, hesitant to reflect, because I could try to reflect out of your pressure and I could actually be worse off, okay? You are not going for the bug in that sense. The bug is a side effect of what you were doing in the first place, right? Because, I mean, like I said, the only bug you're going for is the fireball bug. But let's remember this right here. It's not like Vegito is the only character that can do this bug. I mean, if we're to do, like, watch this. If I were to do boom, I'm going to try to jet. Man, I can't get that, right? I can't dash back in. But say if for Goku were to pressure, boom, boom. Oh, well, or sorry, my bad. Boom, boom. Oh, well, then I can run and dash, right? Boom, boom. You know, he's set the homie dash. Right? It's not like this bug only works with Vegito, right? So these characters like, yeah, Goku can do this shit too. Boom, boom. Boom, boom. But the thing is, when he's pressuring you like this, look where the fuck I am. I'm right up in your junk, dude. That's why I said this Vegito sweet spot that I've talked about right when the fucking game first came out. And I showed this bug he could do. The thing is, you're doing this, the fireball bug, and no matter what you're doing, you're always back at this sweet spot. You can do safe Banshee Blast. You know what I mean? Boom, boom. Oh, well, where am I? Then you can abuse the priority system if the character tries to hit you. Well, fuck, your moves are faster, they go longer. If the character actually has a long distance move, you know what I mean? So if we were to be, let's say, boom, boom, he blocks that, let's send him to medium. So, you know, my hard beats it. Like I said, not every character can even do that. And then once he respects that, well, from this range, that's safe because of the bug. Quotation marks safe, right? Unless they get the just frame reversal, but then you can do something else to beat that. But if they block the fireball for the first time, they cannot homing dash out of that. Which then, you think about this game has so many things that is stopping you from pressuring. You know what I mean? Oh, your pressure ends here, your pressure ends here. Vegito's pressure, he doesn't have to play the normal rules of the game, right? No matter what, if you're trying to reflect, if you're homing dash, whatever, it doesn't matter, because I can do the same thing. And I don't have to just do medium. I can do boom, boom. You know, oh, sorry, man. You know, I actually need a new fucking controller. Look at this fucking execution problem. I need a new controller. Donate to the PayPal, Super Chat, Patreon. Look at this shit. My execution is not good right now. Christ. There you go. I'm being exposed. I do need a new controller. Donate to the Patreon.
Please donate to the Patreon.
But, and then of course there's other things like this, and I showed, well fuck. I showed how you can actually how you can vanish install that, or react with this stuff. And you do see people doing more of this stuff, right? You know what I mean? So, this game can still be played better, right? You know what I mean? It's taken a long time for people to show that Vegito is just more than this. But you see, I've seen people saying like, oh, the French are showing Vegito's good. Look at the range that a lot of the French people are doing. They're doing a lot of this range shit that I said worked from the very fucking get-go of this game. Vegito is pressuring you at a range, and it's consistent, again, -1, that other characters can't do. And even if the guy tries to get out of it, they automatically get hit. Right? And then, well, fuck, oh, but nah, they're trying to do everything. Oh, well, fuck, what am I doing? Anyway. And they added some block damage to him for a little bit. For what it's worth, I don't think a character can be the best character in the game. You know what I mean? He doesn't have a fast low, right? Like I said, I don't think Vegito is the best character in the game. Again, how much my opinion matters, but if you're thinking about a video game, you know, the grand scheme of things. And of course there's left, right, mix-ups, all that kind of stuff. I think a character, if block damage could potentially kill you in this game, like I said, it's nice that there's actually a little bit of block damage, but at the end of the day, I don't think he has a fast enough low that if I'm theorizing the game, that he could be the best character, which I don't think people consider him generally the best, but he's considered one of the better characters now. But I think if you're just thinking about fighting games in general, I don't think you could have a character that is that slow of a mix-up be the best character because, you know, it is what it is, right? But again, so usually, like I said, I can't say what I think is the exact tier list for this game because ultimately I don't play it. Plus, it's a tag team game. There's synergy in a tag team game, believe it or not. You know, they took it away for a couple of seasons. The first season, there was a little bit more synergy. Took it away for a couple seasons. Now, synergy's a little bit back. So you got to think about, are you doing a tier list with characters and how well they synergistically exist together? Because obviously there is some synergy. So that's another caveat to tier list. But again, people are like, what do you think is the tier list? I don't know. The only thing is I can say is I know it is possible in a video game because, well, I've been accurately telling people what is possible in a video game for fucking 20 years. Right? Some things take longer to do, but they also come to pass if the game keeps getting played, right? You know what I mean? I can tell the stuff that works in this game, right? So, again, the interesting thing about Vegito, like I said, from the very first rate when it came out, I'm like, wow, you can really, this is a range that other characters can't play at the same way, right? Sure, Goku, I can be shooting fireballs from here, blah, 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 and I'm actually at the advantage, right? But at the same time, well, 0 right there, 3 right there. From that kind of range, man, I kind of got to try to bait some stuff, right? I gotta be trying to bait some stuff. When Vegito is doing stuff here, the baiting is already programmed into it, right? Homing dash or super dash, whatever the opponent does, I'm doing the same thing, right? It doesn't matter. Like, this is a bait. I guess you could say that's a bait for sure. But, you know what I mean? Just from like mid-range shit, you know, Vegito can play the game in a way that other characters can't play the game, which I think is good, you know, for our character's position on a tier list potentially, right? You know, he doesn't have to just be up in the opponent's junk, right? It's not like so many of these other characters, well, fuck. Well, shit, I can do a lot of shit. You know, oh, well, I can kind of make myself safe, right? Oh, well. But, you know what I mean? You're still up in the punch. Vegito, what are you going to do? And then he abuses the priority system of the game. Even when his stand medium was slower, I showed there were ranges, it doesn't matter. He still won, even in the other patches when his medium was slower. Yeah, it's a little bit unga bunga now. You know what I mean? And I agree. And like I said, it's a nerf in some ways as well too, because certain things are harder to do. You know, on the orb, you got to flip it around. You know what I mean? They took away specifically one safe setup, but at the end of the day, you're doing the same thing anyway. What the opponent is doing doesn't matter. And of course, you know, Vegito, you know, he has this kind of stuff too, you know. Once the opponent, like, man, I don't want to stay on the ground, where Vegito actually abuses the priority system. Well, now you get opened up by a throw. A move that most of the cast doesn't have, most of the cast does not have access to a versatile DP like that, right? I still think things like that, his counter is bullshit. His counter doesn't make sense and is poorly thought out. I don't know why the counter isn't just, you know, make it foot invincible from frame 1 or some bullshit, you know what I mean? Counter doesn't make sense to me, you know what I mean? You don't get a lot of damage off it. Sparking, I guess it's okay, but, you know, he still has things that are kind of like brain farts, I think. But, man, you talk about a mid-range thing, keeping people afraid, access to moves like this that other characters do not have, you know what I mean? You can see the strengths, you know, pretty clearly, I think, if you look at the game and you're not a thintellectual. Anyway, remember, if you like the videos, like, sub, silly, comment, share, support the channel. Thanks.